Today I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to shoot better images of your animals with your phone. So this is my little shooting rig today. It's just my phone on a little, like a few dollar tripod piece, and I got this tripod for $2. So this is a pretty cheap setup, other than the lights behind me, but you don't even need those, you can do without. Also, if you are interested in different sort of photo, video, and editing stuff, I'm gonna start putting videos like this on my other channel, but I wanted to get this one up on GoHerping because it is related just to reptiles and amphibians, so hopefully it'll help you out. So to start out, we don't even need the animal yet, because my first tip is setting up the backdrop properly. If you're gonna be doing this either indoors or outdoors, it's a really good idea to get the backdrop as far away from the subject as possible, because it's gonna blur it out more, so it's more that portrait look. And then anything like maybe wrinkles or details that you don't want showing are gonna be completely blurred and not visible. So I'm actually gonna turn this table so that it's long ways. Next, I'm gonna try and get this blue sheep up on the wall without it falling, just with some clips and packing tape, so we'll see how it goes. You can see this background is pretty wrinkled right around there because I only set this up in like 1 minute, but that should be fine because it is going to be far away from the animal, which will be down at the front of the table. So I've got my subject on the table right here. I'm going to be shooting an American toad, and next I'm going to talk about lighting. And my tip for lighting is to really just play around with different things and keep the backdrop in mind when you're moving lighting around. So whether you just have some sort of lamp or maybe a couple lamps or some sort of lights like this, there's also different looks you can get with the lights. For example, turn one light off and you're gonna have a lot of shadows on one side if it's at an angle. Then if you do have a second light at another angle, everything's gonna be more evenly lit. Usually your goal is to have some sort of diffused or soft light. It's kind of all spread out. It's not just in random splotchy places. It's not too bright. You can kind of just see the whole subject in the same clear tone of light. What I'm gonna do is move these lights closer, and I'm gonna have them at the same angle on the same subject at right around the same distance. If you don't have access to lights that you don't think will work or can't diffuse it, you can actually just take a lamp, go up to a wall, and bounce that light off the wall. So if the lamp is pointed directly onto the wall, that light will bounce back and it'll be softer than if you were directly shooting it towards the animal. So you probably can't see me too well now because these lights are in such a weird place, but my third tip involves the actual camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the camera up on my phone. Another tip I have that I think helps a lot is getting the camera on the same plane of your animal and trying to line it up just about with the eyes. So I'm gonna move this down. Even if you don't have a tripod, you can just hold it lower. But I'm gonna get the camera down nice and low so that it's right even with the animal. But it always looks better when it's like this compared to when it's down at an angle to where you're above it. So for the next tip, I'm gonna go ahead and try and get the animal in the place that I want it, and I'll just try and get her at a position. So whether your phone has manual focus or it's on autofocus, it's always good to try and focus on the eyes of the animal. Whether this is a person or some sort of herp or whatever, it's always good to try and focus on the eyes because that's what you're naturally focused to if you just see someone or something. So I'm pressing the focus right on the eye, and then I'll shoot an image. Now I can zoom in on the eye and see that it is completely crisp and in focus, so it just makes it more interesting. So it's not focused maybe just on the body, because then you might actually miss the face, but just going for the eyes is the clearest, easiest, and the best way to focus the image. My final tip is to really keep the composition of the animal in mind, and what I mean by this is try and get it in interesting places in the shot. So try not to just focus on the animal, but focus what's around it and how much space is around it. Something I always like to do is to put it in 1/3 of the image to the left or right, or top or bottom if I'm shooting vertically. If the animal is, say, on your right side and then it's looking in this direction, it's good to get it looking in the direction with all the open and blank space. So those are the 5 tips I've got on getting more interesting and maybe even more clear images of your reptiles and amphibians when you're shooting them with something as simple as a phone. If you are interested in the different photo, video, and editing sort of things, you can check out my other channel in the description, but again, there aren't any videos on it yet, so I won't be sad if you don't. But make sure to let me know some other tips you have when it comes to shooting different reptiles, amphibians, or just animals or people in general with different portrait style images. But that'll be it for this video. I'm Alex, and thanks for watching.